All right, what's up, Jesse?
All right, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. House is still standing.
Yeah, yeah. Monica tried to burn it down,
Try to burn the house
but
down,
not today.
bringing it down. Throwing lint in a candle, probably not the best thing to do.
No, she almost. It would have been a nice. And then because
I
she
appreciate
was
the
drunk.
thought.
She was drunk, right? So she's like, "I'm gonna put it out." So she brings out this gallon jug of water. These wax candles, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it would have got all the flame, or maybe it would have just spread it out, and then the whole table would have lit on fire, and then your whole porch would have went up in flames.
And I don't even know if she's drunk or just that was just like the thought of the moment, you know.
I don't know, man. I don't know, like, because I mean, she knows the shit out of sharks. Like when it
She
comes to
does know
sharks,
sharks.
she knows sharks. I mean, to a very high degree. Putting out fires,
Not so
I'm
much.
not sure. I'm not sure, and maybe it's just because she's been drinking a little bit.
I think your initial reaction, and I don't think it's just that. I think initial reaction is like fire, water,
Yeah,
fire, water, wax. Not good.
yeah. There's
So-
certain things that fire doesn't go very well with.
When I was coming downstairs with all the equipment, I looked out the door and I'm like, "Damn, that looks like." I didn't know what she was doing, but I could see the flames through the glass door that goes out to the back porch, and I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" But it's all clean now. It's all good. I just think it's funny.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just-
It was pretty funny.
It's first I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, "You gonna burn down our house?" But
She
wanted to
was
make-
good with that fire extinguisher, though, dude. She's just like, she's real good. She's real good with that. It's
She
like
just
she's
bought
done
it.
it before.
Well, no, we just bought. I don't think she's never used one before,
No,
and
she-
she just bought it for some reason, and I guess I'm glad. But there's a box of baking soda out there too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like, well, it started getting like it had to be put out immediately. So when it was like, okay, this needs to be done now. Like, and she already had me bring the fire extinguisher. Even when we thought nothing was going to happen, she made me bring the fire extinguisher out. And I didn't think anything was going to happen, so I'm sure I just got it for her and whatever. I thought it was just going to give her some comfort.
The funny thing is now you know why houses burn down from lint traps because that shit's flammable.
Dude,
It
it
goes-
took those little candles, dude, and turned them into bonfires.
Well, I didn't know. I thought okay, so I
I
thought
didn't even know she was putting that in there. I thought she was throwing papers, and I didn't even see what she was doing.
when I looked out and she didn't want to tell me either because she's like, "Oh, you're gonna."
She told me not to tell you that part, so that's why I left the lit part out. I tried to stay away from that piece.
I don't care. It's just damn, like, I wouldn't do that.
House is safe.
House is safe.
I think everybody's safe.
The dog's safe. That's the most important thing.
Dog's safe. I think everything's okay.
There was a little
so-
frog out there earlier. Hope the little frog is safe.
I tell you what, like, 'cause there was these bugs that were flying. I mean, these were huge flames, like this, and there were bugs that were flying into. Monica was like, "Oh, I just saw that moth go in, and he came out smoke." Oh, it was pretty funny at the time to hear her say it. I mean, and I don't know. She's obviously had a little too much to drink.
She's like, I want the candles to be bigger. I'm like, but they're not meant to be bigger. They're bug candles. They're meant to put off smoke. You don't want flames because then you're not going to get the smoke to get the bugs to go away. That the whole point is for those candles to put off smoke and the aroma to keep the bugs away.
Oh, those were just smoke candles? Those are like bug candles that she did that with?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought they were just like regular candles because I was like, well, that makes a little more sense. But
No, they're just bug candles.
yeah, it was at least everything didn't get lit up on fire.
We have a fire pit. If you want a fire, just throw shit in the fire pit and burn it where it's safe on the driveway where there's concrete.
Throw in a little bit of wax. I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, so they're up there. I looked out there right before I came down, and it's all cleaned up. But I'm like, just don't leave that till tomorrow, because it's supposed to be hot as shit tomorrow, and I just would have been a disaster.
Yeah,
Because I just don't know I don't know how
that shit gets everywhere.
the fire extinguisher, dude. It's dirty business. Like if that goes off in your house, forget about it.
We had a guy that one of my old jobs. We had a truck that didn't have all of our trucks had to have fire extinguishers in them, right? But some of them didn't have some of them didn't have holders for them. So we ended up having to just put one under the back seat. And he ended up driving around our truck, and something happened with the pin.
Oh no.
whatever, it went off in our work vehicle. He was just in there by himself, and it just like covered the whole inside
Looked like a
and covered all of him with stuff too. Because it was just while he's driving.
what do you call it? One of those Christmas orbs you shake up.
The whole thing just went out. I mean, just they blew it all out.
That's awesome.
It
Poor
was a
guy.
funny story. It was a pretty good story, and thank God because it was our truck, and he just happened to be driving it that one day. So it would have happened to us, and thank God it didn't.
Oh, dude. I don't know, man. I just look at that and it's like, you wonder how people burn their houses down and it's shit like that. Because you don't expect something to happen. And then all of a sudden, a small flame turns into a bigger flame. Then before you know it, the clothes you threw in the bathtub are burning down your multi-million-dollar house. Shout out to Left Eye from TLC. That's what she did. I
didn't know what she did. I just knew she was crazy, and she lit. It was Andre Rison's house, wasn't it?
I don't think she was that crazy. I think that she...
I don't know.
but some of the documentary on her is pretty good. And I'm a big Left Eye fan.
I guess maybe you watch. If you watch the documentary, you're ahead of me because I just remember
she
it from all those
disappeared.
years
Well,
ago.
she disappeared, like she died, right, in a van accident, and they have it on the footage, and it sucks. But I guess she was upset with them, so she was gonna just burn his shit in the bathtub. She thought the bathtub would be like safe, and it like ended up catching like the rest of the house on fire. It's like fuck,
I don't know why women always go to the point of to lighting your shit on fire. I need an explanation. We need one of the women down here to explain it, like why they always go that route. Not that I've had it happen. I've heard so many stories about it. Well, they'll either take all their shit and throw it out the window, or take all their shit and burn it on the front yard, or something like that.
The first apartment I ever moved into in Phoenix, the first day I was there, I was moving my stuff in, and this lady was chucking this guy's stuff over the balcony, and that was the first thing I saw, and I'm like, oh man, what am I moving into? Ended up being an awesome complex, and ended up being all good, but I just thought that was funny. I was like, damn, I just don't like to argue in public like that, and but I'm not that type of person, but I just think it was interesting, and I just think at the end of the day, when you're looking at it, it's like, I wouldn't have done that, but it probably sounded good at the time. I could make candle better. I'm gonna grab lint. A paper towel would have been better, because at least a paper towel, like it curls up, it burns fast.
I thought that's what she was doing.
That lint's still there, like it's still on the deck.
I'm sure. I'm sure it is. So
it's hardy.
It was going to be bad. It was going to be really bad.
Yeah, don't throw lint in candles, people. It's not a good mix. Clean out your lint trap too in your dryer. I do that. I look in there sometimes after Monica does all the laundry in the house, and we have we have it split up to where I'll do the kitchen and the downstairs, and then she does the master bedroom and the laundry, and I'll do pretty much the main level, then the basement. Because she's scared to come down here because she thinks it's haunted, and a pretty much brand new house. I don't think it's haunted down here, but and so that's why we never watch TV down here. We got this awesome setup, and we never watch TV down here because she thinks the house is haunted. But
maybe
back to my point, and so sometimes I'll go in there and I'll just throw a load, change a load, and I'll go to pull out the lint, and it's like completely full. I'm like, oh, this hasn't been changed in a while. And then I'll go back and look at it, and she had just changed it, and I'll go back in there, and there's still like a crap ton of lint in there. So it's crazy how much lint actually goes in there after each dry. So if you don't change it after 2 times, it's like a ball.
I should probably check my lint trap when I get home.
So, yeah, dude, I felt dumb. This is why I'm always checking the lint trap. My clothes, I thought the dryer was broke in my first apartment.
Yeah, I went through the same thing when I was young, too.
And I couldn't figure out why my clothes wouldn't dry.
Yeah.
And then my parents had come down to Phoenix, and, dude, I was drying shit multiple times. And I pull up the lint, and they're like, did you clean out the lint trap? I'm like, what do you mean clean out the lint trap? And I pull out the lint, and it's nasty, dude.
Oh, yeah, because then at that point, you just, fold it over, and you kind of roll it up. And just,
yep. I couldn't get my drain to go down either. And my dad's like, well, you get this little hook thing, and you just shove it down the drain, and it pulls all the hair out. Dude, it looked like, have you seen The Grudge?
I mean, I've seen it, but not for years.
The black hair, dude, that's what it looked like. It looked like I was pulling the mop out of the drain. Because after the drain worked perfect after that, but in the bathtub, so it must have been a female that lived in there prior to me.
Yeah,
and there was so much hair in the drain, it was all black and it was long. It was so nasty, dude. And there's obviously dirt and grime that gets stuck in there. So when you're pulling it out, it's all gurgling.
Oh
up.
yeah,
it's so nasty. But no, man, It's the things when you own a house that you don't realize that your parents always yelled at you for, and that you start to realize, when you live in a house that you have to take care of. It's different. You need to go check your. You need to take a picture of it.
Oh, mine won't be terrible. I mean, I cleaned it out not too long ago, but
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
I mean, there could have still been. Who knows? Because I don't think the kids check it.
So
So it just depends on how many times they've ran it. So maybe 5 to 10 times. I don't know. Like
our
we'll see.
our washer wasn't working. It was leaking onto the ground, and I couldn't figure it out. And so I asked Monica, "Hey, would you clean out the little filter in front of the washer?" And we pull out the filter, and I found I think there was like a $10 bill in there or 20 or something like that. Pull it out, and it is the nastiest, dude. It smelled so bad, like it stunk up the whole house. Like there was it was like a wet oozy thing on top of the money. It was so gross. And so I was like, okay, this is why the washer's leaking. Of course, it wasn't. We took apart the washer and figured out it was like just a little tube, had a little bitty hole in it. And it's surprising how much water came out of this like little bitty hole from a tube, like a $12 like little rubber tube that I ordered from LG, and it was impressive. So I don't know, man. We were talking tonight, and we can just keep it as this segment, but we were talking tonight about I kind of want to talk about this because it's kind of interesting, social media and like just blasting people on social media.
What do you mean?
And so just somebody I know, just say like you go through a situation and you just blast somebody on social media, and it's interesting because like I see people do this all the time. Like we're talking about Instagram models and stuff, and they're like, oh, they're trying to start their career on Instagram models, and they use filters for everything. And it's like I don't know why people do that. I don't get it.
Oh man, I don't understand that at all. Like I just don't get that. But I'm also not a woman. I don't think guys typically use the filters unless they're just screwing around.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's sad. I think it's something that's societally sucks. I don't know. Because I think we have this like predetermination of what like we think is good looking or beautiful, and it just sucks, man. Just detracting from what's really going on.
Now I will admit I have met quite a few girls who I didn't know, like I either met them through online dating or whatever. That they use so many filters, you couldn't. I mean, it was pretty difficult to tell it was them because it's smooth. It just makes everything look better. I mean, just like if I used them, it would smooth out my face. It would it'd clean up my complexion. I mean, it kind of hides.
Yeah.
It hide my age a little bit. Probably hide my wrinkles a bit.
Well, and then another thing too is the contouring that people do.
Yeah.
Monica's cousin, she does makeup tutorials and stuff, and she can contour her face. I think that's just the craziest thing in the world. You're already a beautiful young lady, and then like you start contouring your face, and not that they look bad. It's just weird to me. Like all that makeup.
Eventually, they look more like aliens than anything else. They just don't look like. I mean, you don't even look human anymore. Like you make yourself into like a doll, and it's. I guess not that can't be beautiful. It's just.
Well, I think some of it's self-esteem issues, and some of it's like I think it's the act of doing it's fun. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's definitely self-esteem, and I think social media. I think it adds to a lot of depression, anxiety, all kinds of stuff for women. From my understanding, even at young ages, just being involved in how many likes your pictures are getting, all kinds of stuff like that. That
we were talking about
that has an effect, and it's at least that part affects. I mean, it affects women tremendously. And then, of course, the porn side affects the guys tremendously.
Big time, yeah. No, I think that, and did you listen to, have you been watching Joe Rogan lately?
You're going to talk about Dr. What's her name?
No, I was just watching the guy with the CIA was on there.
Oh, no, I watched almost all that one.
I watched the whole thing, pretty much.
Probably, maybe just like the last 30 minutes I've missed.
Yeah, I think I'm like 10, 15 minutes away from
It's like 2.5 hours.
It's really good.
I almost finished it today. Yeah, it was really good. And I've seen him before. I couldn't think of who he was. I went through and watched it, and it was pretty good.
They're talking about Marilyn Manson.
Charles Manson?
Charles Manson. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, Charles Manson.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, probably Marilyn Manson too.
Well, maybe.
And LSD, and how they used to like go to brothels and like test. Like they would give men unwillingly. They would call them Johns. They would give Johns LSD unknowingly, like the prostitutes would slip it to the men, and then there was a glass window that the CIA agent would sit behind with the drink and watch them fornicate. And
Yeah.
then like after they were done fornicating, they would try to get information out of the men to see kind of what would. I think that's just the craziest shit.
Oh no, it was a pretty good. That was pretty good stuff. I can't remember what even the operation's name was funny. I just can't think of it.
Oh,
It was midnight.
Operation Nightshade or
It was something. It was something pretty funny.
Night Owl.
I'll look it up in a second.
Yeah, it was Midnight Nightshade. But no, I think it's from a book. This guy spent like 20 years writing a book, Commander or something like that. And it's just interesting how like you start to think about social media and you start to think about mail-in voting, and you start to think about all this other stuff. And they talked about online voting and that. Why can't we vote online? And I just think it's very, very interesting how the CIA they know this. This isn't like make believe. Like the CIA was testing, like they were giving LSD to their own agents that didn't know about it. They were giving LSD to random people just to see the side effects on it, because this is like in the 50s and 60s. They were so afraid of that about mind warfare, mind control.
It's called Operation Midnight Climax.
Midnight Climax. There you go. Yeah.
When Joe Rogan said it, I was like, no, that can't be real. And it's just so funny that used to happen. And I guess it was to counter the Russians that were doing it. I believe the Russians were starting to do. They were starting to get into what was it like? Not necessarily mind control, but influence and things like that, and seeing what they could do, and on people that didn't know what was going on.
They were specifically talking about mind control. It was Mike Baker, is who it is.
Yeah.
And they were saying that mind control was like the main thing that they started really getting into it for. And they're especially terrified of LSD, and could they slip it to our president? And they were talking about Sleepy Joe Biden. And they're like, man, Joe... And I was talking about this earlier, about Joe Biden, like, they're going to build the Oval Office around in his basement. So he doesn't have to leave. They're just going to, like, leave it in his basement.
I must have missed that part. That's funny, though.
No, I was talking about that today.
Okay.
That was my joke today. I was like, they're, Joe Biden, are they going to even have a debate? And... they're probably going to build the Oval Office in Joe Biden's basement, so he doesn't have to leave, or build the stage down there.
Didn't they cancel? Didn't he cancel going in person to the
DNC convention?
Yeah,
he just canceled that.
That's what I thought. So I wonder if they'll even have the convention, or if they'll do it all online. Or
They should do it online.
Know.
I mean, Trump's doing his online, right?
I don't know. I think he definitely canceled it for now, and he said it's not the right time. I'm guessing he will. I don't know. I'm guessing he'll do it in person eventually, maybe.
Yeah, I think.
But then again, I guess it really doesn't matter for the RNC probably.
Got to have a debate. I mean, you just have to have a debate. I mean, Americans, we deserve a debate, and I don't care what people say about how you shouldn't talk to hate or whatever crap they're gonna say. That's kind of bullshit to me. You as Americans, like it's in our roots, it's in our DNA that we debate. We tell each other our own point of views. I don't understand how you could go through an election and not have a debate, a presidential debate.
Well, I mean, there's a couple like authors that are trying to, journalists that are trying to give Joe Biden reasons not to debate. But I think he's going to have to debate. He says he wants to. Did you see his cognitive thing today when somebody asked him about the cognitive question?
No.
It's pretty funny. I can't even. He starts telling this stupid story. I mean, I guess I should pull up the transcript. Because I can't remember who it was that was even interviewing him. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah. It's
pretty funny. And he just goes through some crazy stuff because the guy's like you plan on debating Trump and you plan on doing a cognitive test. You had the text up.
I got the.
I remember part of it, but it's like it's so ridiculous, dude. Like he says the dumbest shit. Like his whole example doesn't even make any sense.
Here we go.
Are you gonna try to play it?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to play this. I'll wait till the stupid commercial goes. I hate commercials, dude. I hate ads.
Yeah, me too.
And I know they're a necessary thing. I guess they're necessary, but man, I hate them. This one's of a cow being born.
Oh, I love cows being born.
Little calfies. But no, man, it's like, how do you get to hide in your basement, bro? You want to be the president of the United States, and I guess I'll get some flack for saying that he's hiding in his damn basement, but it seems like he's hiding in his basement I mean,
I
here
think
we
he's
go.
Vice President, your opponent in this election, President Trump, has made your mental state a campaign topic. And when asked in June if you've been tested for cognitive decline, you've responded that you're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive
No, I haven't taken the test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you say to President Trump, who...
What did he say?
He's like, what are you, a junkie? There's a
What
little
did he
bit more.
say? That says junkie. I thought he said chony. I was
like-
like, what's a chony?
to President Trump, who brags about
Here we go
his
again.
test
Replay.
and makes your mental state an issue for voters.
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to make a judgment.
Dude, it's brutal. Like,
And if
this
you
is
watch
not-
it, you watch his face.
I know, man. And like you see old Joe Biden when he beat the shit out of Paul Ryan in that debate. I mean,
Yeah.
he
I-
took
trust
Paul
me, he's-
Ryan and he slapped him around that whole debate. You know,
He surprised me because I thought Paul Ryan was going to take it to him, and I thought Joe Biden was this fool, and then he badgered Paul Ryan,
dude, he owned Paul
and
Ryan. in
and
that
Paul
debate.
Ryan, well, he like didn't fight back, and that's what was kind of upsetting in the whole thing.
But
But now he's just not the same Joe Biden. Like he's missing a step, dude. Like his analogy doesn't even make sense.
I know.
He's like, "What are you gonna do? Test me when I go to this program and see test me for cocaine?"
Here we go again.
To let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and
I hate to laugh,
make a
dude.
judgment about who I am.
I mean, I hate to laugh, but I mean,
I think he was trying. I think he wanted to say facilities.
and this is from, and so people
something,
know,
or
this-
faculty.
This article is from Politico. Like, this is on Politico, and Biden hits back at reporter asking if he took a cognitive test. Are you a junkie? And I did not hear junkie in that one. And yes, has Joe Biden had a stammer in the past? And yes, do people forget what they're saying in the past? Joe Rogan said something hilarious. He's like, I bet you they're like got an IV of like Alpha Brain for Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good.
I mean, that debate's gonna be gold. It's gonna be. I mean, you got Trump who just has no filter. Like, who knows what he's gonna say to Joe Biden, and like Mike Tyson said, it's gonna be like Mike Tyson fighting.
I think he said a
3-year-old.
3-year-old. I think Joe
something like
Rogan
that.
said it's gonna be like Mike Tyson fighting a 3-year-old. And who knows? Maybe Joe Biden can actually put it together for a couple hours. It's possible.
But that debate against Bernie was even bad.
I know none of his debates were good. Like there was a couple times where he
sounded
spoke
good.
well,
No,
like
yep.
in like a one answer or two answers, but a lot of the times it was like weird, didn't really make sense, and then he just like, oh, I guess my time is up, and he would end.
Bernie Sanders was so soft on him too.
Yeah, that's the thing. But
you
let's
think
say,
Trump's gonna Trump's gonna go hard in the paint. Trump's gonna go hard in the paint. I guarantee it.
I would think that's true, but depending on who sets up that debate, they might try to stop some of the back and forth to help Joe Biden, or maybe even intercede on
Trump's
some
not
of
gonna
it.
stop that though.
I don't think he will either.
They tried
but
that. They
I
tried
think
that
they
with
could try
Hillary.
it.
They tried that with Hillary, and he just plowed on through.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I just don't think he'd give a shit. I don't think he's not going to follow the rules. And Joe Biden, like he would always like follow every little rule every time he would speak. It was so weird. That's not.
I don't get it, man.
Joe Biden's not okay. Like he's just not okay. And maybe
This is why-
Trump's declining too. I don't know. Maybe he has been for years, but he's more with it than Joe Biden is.
So here's my problem with this, and this is what really pisses me off. So you got Trump, right? Donald Trump. You're telling me that he can't, like, if you put Tulsi Gabbard up against Trump as a Democratic candidate, or Andrew Yang, or even Bernie Sanders. I think Bernie Sanders, I think Trump would mop the floor with Bernie just for the fact that Bernie is too far left. And a lot of people would be afraid that, especially with the fringe politics now the way they are and everything's so polarized, I think that Bernie would. I don't know if that would work or not. I mean, I doubt it would. But somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, who was in the military, who has a great kind of idea about foreign policy, you know what I mean? I think that a lot of people would vote for her.
I do too, but for some reason she can't even make it out of, like, the Democrats try to play her up as like she is a Russian agent. It's like so bizarre.
Dude.
Or an Assad apologist. And it's like,
See, that's
like, come on, man.
I lose respect, and I don't understand how people who've been lifelong Democrats, who like Bernie Sanders, who like the stuff that Tulsi Gabbard pushed, how do you put up with the Democratic Party when they do that?
Yeah.
On YouTube, I commented on the Young Turks the other day because they're spouting off some bullshit, and I said, hey, listen, bring back the old TYT. Bring back the TYT from 2010 when you guys weren't pandering for money. When every one of your damn videos is about Donald Trump. That every headline that you put on there is Donald Trump because you can't seem to do a video without spouting bullshit. They're still pushing Russiagate.
It's all about clicks and money. That's the only reason they're doing it. I don't even think they believe it. I don't think because I've seen some of their older videos. I know you watched it a lot more religiously than I did, but I've seen a few and they were pretty fair. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, and you know, early on, man, they were pretty fair, and I mean, I liked it.
I think Zink
and Trump like broke them. I don't know what, like, and I get that they're trying to make money too. You know, I mean, they're doing their own thing.
I don't know if it's just about money. I think that
maybe
because Wolfpack, that Wolfpack that they push is such a good thing. Like get money out of politics. I was always behind that. I even seen I sent Zink an email when I first joined. I didn't join their channel, but I just sent him an email when I think I downloaded their app or whatever, and he responded back. You know, that's how long ago this was. And you know, I wrote in there like, I don't always agree with you, but you know, I like the fact that you're an independent news studio because I can't stand CNN and Fox and all these other places that you're just getting the talking points. And I still think they have that journalistic integrity to them. I just wish that they would stop the bullshit about Trump all the time because it makes me hard. It's hard for me to watch that shit, dude. Like, cause I feel like I'm being lied to when everything is about Donald Trump, and I think it's because they're afraid that he's gonna win again. I think that fear is really cutting into who they are.
Well, no, I mean the fear, that whole idea of fear and everything. I mean it's like permeating every single thing of American life right now.
Sure.
I think that's what's going on. I think that's like the biggest push, and other than the COVID stuff. But I mean, I think it's behind some of these protests and this rioting and just all kinds of stuff that's going on. Dude, if he wins again, holy shit, it's going to be scary. Like it's going to be messed up.
I think it's going to be messed up no matter which way you go. No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. But that's why. Okay, if it's Joe Biden and he's our president, you think Trump says some crazy shit? Just wait until Joe Biden gets up there with the leader. Come on, man.
Well, and all of his VP pick stuff has just been crazy too, because it was like
should have been a month ago.
It was like, you know, and they kept kind of leaking. You know, there was a screw up by, I can't think of who it was by now. Was it? No, it wasn't Bloomberg. I don't think it was Politico. Somebody ran a full. You know, they ran information on all the VP candidates, right? And then they ran a piece that said that he had already chosen Kamala Harris, and it had like quotes and stuff in there that he was going to make. Like it was like
it's got to be pre-prepared for a bunch of people.
Yeah, and that's what Rising was saying.
Because they got so many speech writers, I would see that. But
that's what Rising was saying, is that maybe it was pre-prepared, and maybe they had one for each one, and they somehow got the wrong piece. Or what I wonder is if they did that intentionally, or like somebody gave it to them intentionally. Because I guess there's like some fight in the Biden camp because some of the Biden people they want to nix Kamala Harris. Right, because they hate her. So then they leak that so that people will be all pissed off and be like, "No, don't put this woman in," you know. And then Biden will change his mind on it and move more towards one of the other candidates.
I don't know, man. It's tough out there. All right, well, until our next statement, guys. Stay frosty, man, and put out fires when you see them. Very important. See you guys.